few years ago, I was sitting in my car, just outside a grocery store. I wasn't crying exactly, but I wasn't not crying either. You know that in-between space where the tears aren't falling, but they're heavy behind your eyes? My hands were shaking just slightly. I was trying to talk myself into going inside. All I needed was milk. Just milk. But anxiety doesn't care how small the task is. It wraps itself around your breath, shrinks the world down to a narrow tunnel, and whispers, "You can't." Oftentimes, we're more shaken than we want to admit. Sometimes we move sideways because we can't, but not always because we can't to the world we have no room to fit. You can't. Things can't be better. I'm sure that's helpful. But anxiety doesn't care how small the task is. It wraps itself around your breath, shrinks the world down to a narrow tunnel, and whispers, "You can't." And in that moment, sitting in that parked car, I wasn't afraid of the store. I was afraid of my own mind. That's what I want to talk about today. The quiet, transformative, liberating power of a calm mind. A mind that isn't at war with itself, a mind that doesn't spiral into fear, doesn't rehearse disaster, and doesn't tie our worth to our productivity, performance, or perfection. Let's walk through this together. So let's walk through this. Together. Let's walk through this. Before we begin, if this message resonates with you, take a moment to like, subscribe, comment, and share. You never know who might need this exact message today. We live in a world that moves fast, a world where we're expected to keep going, keep smiling, keep performing, even when something inside of us feels like it's unraveling. And when anxiety shows up, when fear creeps in, we often feel like we're doing something wrong, like we've failed some invisible test of strength. But here's what I've learned, and what I wish someone had told me sooner. Anxiety is not weakness. It's not brokenness. It's not something to be ashamed of. Anxiety is your body doing exactly what it was wired to do, trying to keep you safe. It's like this. Imagine you're in a house with a smoke alarm that goes off constantly. Loud, piercing, relentless, but every time you check, there's no fire, no smoke, no danger. You start feeling frustrated, confused, maybe even helpless. That's what living with anxiety feels like. Your brain is sounding the alarm, heart pounding, thoughts racing, muscles tense, but there's nothing actually burning. And the worst part? You start questioning yourself. Why can't I handle this? Why does everyone else seem fine? What's wrong with me? But nothing is wrong with you. In fact, your nervous system is just trying to protect you. It's overreacting, yes, but it's not trying to hurt you. It's trying to save you. The problem isn't that you're broken. The problem is that somewhere along the way, your system learned that the world wasn't safe. And now it's working overtime to shield you from every possible threat, even the imagined ones. And you know what? That makes sense. Maybe it was the way you grew up where love felt conditional or unpredictable. Maybe it was trauma or bullying or years of walking on eggshells. Maybe it was a life that taught you to expect pain before it arrives, to prepare for the worst just in case. Those lessons don't disappear overnight. They live in our bones, they shape our breath, they make our shoulders tense and our hearts race, even when we're just standing in line at the store or trying to fall asleep at night. I remember one moment, and maybe you've had a version of this too, where I was simply washing dishes. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet moment, and suddenly, out of nowhere, this wave of panic hit. My chest got tight, my mind started spiraling, and I remember thinking, why now? Why here? There's nothing wrong. But that's the thing about anxiety. It doesn't need a reason. It doesn't wait for your permission. It just arrives, uninvited. And yet, and this is so important, that moment doesn't mean you failed. That fear doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. And being human is messy and magnificent and terrifying and beautiful, all at once. So if you've ever felt like your mind is betraying you, If you've ever sat in a room full of people and felt completely alone because no one can see the storm inside your chest. If you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered why it feels so hard just to feel okay, please hear me when I say, you are not alone. And you are not broken. The calm you crave isn't something other people were born with and you weren't. It's not some secret formula you missed out on. It's a skill, a practice, a way of being that you can learn slowly, gently, one breath at a time. And it starts not by fighting the anxiety, but by honoring what it's trying to do. It's not here to ruin your life. It's here to try and protect you. Maybe not in the most helpful way, but it means your system still believes you're worth saving. What if, instead of shaming yourself, you whispered to your anxiety, "Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I've got this now. We're okay." Because you do. You've made it this far. And no matter how loud the alarm may be, the truth, the deeper truth, is this. You are safe, you are strong, and you are allowed to feel it all and still move forward. That is not weakness. That is a quiet, fierce kind of strength, and it's already alive inside you. The world is noisy, and not just the physical noise of traffic or notifications or conversations you're not really present for. I'm talking about the mental noise, the kind that hums under the surface all day long. The to-do lists, the self-criticism, the doubts, the what-ifs, the endless mental rehearsals of conversations that haven't even happened. The mind is always busy, always trying to solve, fix, anticipate, analyze. We mistake that noise for life. But here's the truth we so often forget. Life won't pause until you feel okay. It keeps moving. Bills still come, people still call, the inbox fills, the unexpected still knocks on your door. But a calm mind doesn't require external silence. It's an inner spaciousness, a grounded presence that says, no matter what's happening around me, I know how to come back home to myself. One of the most liberating things you'll ever realize is this: you are not your thoughts. And yet, for so long, we believe we are. We fuse with them. We become the voice that says, you're not good enough, or you always mess it up, or something bad is going to happen. We don't just hear those thoughts, we obey them. We organize our lives around avoiding the pain they predict. But here's the tender truth most of us were never taught. You are not the storm. You are the sky. The storm is loud, it rages, it pours, it moves. But the sky holds it all. The sky remains, and the sky always clears. For a long time, I didn't understand this. When I had anxious thoughts, I would wrestle with them, argue with them, try to outthink them. I thought I had to fix every scary story my mind told me, but I was wrong. Because trying to fix anxiety with logic is like trying to calm a crying child by yelling at them to stop. It only adds fear to fear. What I didn't realize is that thoughts, especially fearful ones, are often just old echoes. They sound urgent, they feel like truth, but they are often just habits of the mind, created long ago to keep us safe. Maybe you were a kid who had to be perfect to feel loved. Maybe you were raised in chaos and learned to anticipate every danger before it arrived. Maybe no one modeled what calm looked like, and so fear became your default language. Whatever the reason, your thoughts have learned to be hypervigilant. They scan for threat. They overanalyze. They overprepare. Not because you're broken, but because your mind, somewhere along the way, believed it had to be on guard all the time to protect you. And let me say this with love. That belief deserves compassion, not shame. But now, as an adult, you have something you didn't have before: awareness. And awareness is your superpower. It allows you to take a step back from your thoughts and say, that's just fear talking. That's just my old wound trying to speak. That's not the truth of who I am. When you do this, when you become the observer of your thoughts rather than the hostage of them, something sacred happens. You create space. And in that space, you begin to see that your worth isn't tied to the approval of others. that your safety doesn't require constant hypervigilance, that your future doesn't need to be micromanaged into existence. You begin to trust the silence. I remember once sitting in meditation, which for a long time I avoided because I thought I was bad at it. My thoughts would spiral and I'd get frustrated. But one day, instead of trying to clear my mind, I just watched it, like watching clouds float by. I'd notice a thought, "You're falling behind," and say gently, "Okay, that's just a cloud." Then another, "Everyone's doing better than you," and again, "Just a cloud." And somewhere in that watching, I realized I am not these thoughts. I am the one watching. And the one who is watching, she is calm. She is grounded. She is wise. She doesn't need to fix everything. She doesn't rush. She doesn't panic. She just is, and so are you. You are not broken for having anxious thoughts, but you do have the power to stop following them. You are not required to believe every fear that shows up in your mind, and you are allowed to interrupt those patterns, not with force, not with guilt, but with gentleness. Sometimes the most courageous thing we can do is simply pause and say, "That's just a thought. I am still here, I am still safe, and I get to choose what I believe." There's something no one really tells you about choosing calm. It can feel lonely at first, not because it's actually lonely, but because the world we live in is built around chaos. Our culture worships hustle. It idolizes urgency. It glorifies overstimulation, as if being constantly busy is the same thing as being valuable. We are conditioned to believe that unless we are running fast, loud, endlessly productive, we're falling behind. So when you begin to choose calm, when you pause, when you breathe, when you stop chasing and start listening, you are going against everything society has tried to convince you is normal. And that is a quiet rebellion. It's radical to say, "I don't need to prove my worth through exhaustion." It's bold to turn off the noise, to silence the notifications, and to sit with your own thoughts. It's revolutionary to rest when the world tells you to push, to say no when people expect you to say yes, to protect your peace like it matters, because it does. I remember walking into a family gathering a few years ago, everyone talking over each other, comparing their busy schedules, boasting about how tired they were. And there I was, saying things like, "I've been practicing slowing down," or "I'm trying to spend more time in silence." You would have thought I'd grown 2 heads. The discomfort in the room was almost humorous. And I realized calm makes people uncomfortable because it confronts the parts of them that have forgotten how to be still. But the more I stayed rooted in my peace, the more I saw something else. People began to soften around me. They started asking quieter questions. They lingered longer in conversation. They let their own guards down. My calm gave them permission to find theirs. You see, calm is contagious, just like anxiety, just like panic, just like fear. Calm spreads. It's like a candle that lights another, and suddenly the whole room glows with something softer, steadier. And you become a carrier of peace. But that starts with one simple and incredibly hard decision: to stop being addicted to the rush, to stop wearing burnout like a badge of honor, to stop letting other people's expectations write the script of your nervous system, to choose not to react immediately, not to spiral, not to take on emotions that don't belong to you. It means sitting in silence when everyone else is screaming. It means taking a slow breath instead of firing back a quick reply. It means choosing curiosity over judgment, grace over perfection, presence over performance. And maybe most of all, it means trusting that you are still worthy, still loved, still powerful, even when you are not doing anything. Because who you are when you are still, that is the truest version of you. The world may not validate that choice. At first, it might feel like you're falling behind, but slowly, like a stream carving a canyon, that stillness will shape your life. It will deepen your relationships. It will strengthen your resilience. It will anchor you through the storms. Because calm isn't passive. It's not lazy. It's not weak. It's the strongest, bravest, most grounded choice you can make in a world that thrives on panic. So if you're learning to slow down, if you're trying to break free from the addiction to chaos, if you're choosing calm even when it feels unnatural. I see you. You are rewriting the story. You are healing generations of noise, and that matters. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to be busy to be important. You don't have to be in motion to be alive. There comes a moment, often quiet, almost unnoticeable, when you realize something has shifted. Not because the anxiety has disappeared forever, not because the fear stopped knocking, but because you stopped answering the door the same way. You stopped running. You stop collapsing under the weight of every racing thought. You stop abandoning yourself just to keep the peace around you. And instead, you start turning inward. You start listening to the small, steady voice beneath the noise, the one that's been whispering all along. You are already enough. You are already safe. That voice, that's your inner calm. It may have been buried under years of conditioning, trauma, survival patterns, people-pleasing, but it's always been there, waiting for you to remember it. And the beauty of calm isn't that it erases your fear. It's that it teaches you how to hold it differently. It's like learning how to stand in the rain without trying to outrun the storm. You learn that you don't melt in discomfort. You don't collapse in uncertainty. You breathe, you ground, you remember this feeling is not forever. Because calm isn't the absence of hard things. It's the presence of you in the middle of them. It's waking up at 3 a.m. with worry and saying, this is just a wave. I've felt it before. I'll feel it again. But I know how to float now. It's getting triggered by something old, and instead of spiraling, placing your hand on your heart and whispering, I'm here. I've got you. So just to remember that it's not flashy. No one gives you a medal for this kind of inner work, but it is heroic, it is healing, and it is holy. Because this kind of calm, the one born from truth, from self-compassion, from sitting with your messy humanity and still choosing love, it ripples outward. You begin to parent differently. You start to respond instead of react. You give your friends permission to be real. You show up at work more grounded. And the more you look within to reality you give yourself permission to be real. You show up at work more grounded. You make decisions from clarity, not urgency. You stop apologizing for taking up space. And you stop shrinking just to make others feel more comfortable. You begin to trust yourself deeply, quietly, in ways no one else even sees. And from that trust comes peace, not because life is suddenly easy, not because nothing scares you, but because you finally understand you can feel afraid and still move forward. You can have anxiety and still build a beautiful life. You can live with uncertainty and still anchor yourself in purpose. This is the power of a calm mind. Not that it erases the storm, but that it reminds you of the strength you've always carried through it. So if you're listening to this right now, if you've been fighting battles no one sees, if your mind has been loud, your nights restless, your spirit worn thin, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are becoming softer, stronger, wiser. You are learning how to meet yourself with grace instead of judgment. You are discovering how to love your way back to wholeness. And the more you practice, gently, patiently, imperfectly, the more you'll see. You were never meant to live in fear. You were meant to live in truth, in courage, in peace. So take one breath, right here, right now. Let it anchor you. Let it remind you you are here, you are safe, you are enough. And then live from that place. Live slowly. Live honestly. Live wide open, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because a calm mind doesn't just change you. It changes the way you love, the way you lead, the way you live. And the world, more than ever, needs people who are willing to choose calm over chaos, truth over noise, self-compassion over perfection. Let that person be you. Let today be the day you stop running from yourself and start returning home. You're not behind, you're right on time, and you are so deeply worthy of the peace you're learning to create. So here's my invitation to you, dear friend. Tonight, before you fall asleep, put your hand on your heart and whisper, I choose calm. I am safe. I am enough. Let that be your prayer, your protest, your beginning. Because a calm mind isn't something only monks on mountaintops can access. It's yours. It's within reach. It lives in the pause, in the breath, in the brave decision to stop fighting yourself. May you find that stillness. May you honor it. And may you carry it into the chaos like a candle that refuses to go out.